are no clear rules of the road for centralized digital asset trading platforms that list non-security digital assets. American users, our constituents and consumers, are not adequately protected while participating in these markets. It is our job in Congress to craft appropriate fit-for-purpose legal framework for these assets and this space. It is our job, it is our duty, it is long overdue. We must establish clear rules for trading platforms that provide Americans with the necessary protections and ensure market integrity.
And you see there in 2022, it seemed to have lit a fire that regulation is coming. It's going to be put in place, and there's talks about protecting American investors in the crypto space. Once regulation gets put in place, the floodgates will get opened and that big wall of money will come. And with that, you see that regulation could be on the way. We have some other important news. There's been some things that broke in the financial markets. And what does this mean for crypto? What does this mean for Bitcoin? We'll be getting to that today. But before we get to any of that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you, another cryptocurrency video. You know what we do. Whether the market's pumping or dumping, the Bitcoin bros are here for you. Getting straight into it, taking a look at Bitcoin versus the US dollar. We see that Bitcoin has had this upwards trend. And once again, the trend's your friend till the end. And if we just look here, Bitcoin could have bottomed out around here around that 15.6 level, but it has just been putting in higher lows and higher lows. And then we had a blast up. We went all the way up to roughly about 25,000, and now we're having a cool off. Now, could we come back down to these levels right here to retest this down to 18.4? That's a possibility. It's a potential, most definitely. But if you look where this area of confluence is right here, we see that if you look back in the charts, there's a lot of support around this area. There's a lot of noise. So could Bitcoin just have, broke through this box, came back down, and now are retesting on these levels? As you see, Bitcoin could be bottoming out right here, getting ready just to stair step its way back up to the upside over time. As you see, the DXY below has had its peak and right now has had a sharp retracement, could come back up, run the support, and then just keep stair stepping its way to the downside. And this will be leading into that very bullish bull run that we're waiting on. In major news, stablecoin USDC breaks the dollar peg after revealing a $3.3 billion Silicon Valley Bank exposure. So if we take a look at the charts here, do you see anything odd? Yeah, well, you see that sometimes USDC historically has gotten a little volatile slightly. And we've depegged briefly down to 97 cents, and year to date we've came down to 95 cents. So that's happened a few times over the years. But looking at what happened today, we came all the way down to 82 cents. So if this isn't an indication of an issue in the financial markets, we don't know what you're looking at, and you might be living under a rock. And you can see that Bitcoin regains 20K after $200 million in crypto liquidation. Some traders brush off the USDC fears. So are you still holding USDC right now? Right now, we're still not back up to $1. It came back up, but not all the way back up to where it needs to be. It's still around 95 cents. And we're seeing here from Meet Kevin that we had two major banks explode. Silvergate, which is now in liquidation, and the Silicon Valley Bank, which is now in receivership. Arthur Hayes weighs in and he's saying we are in a no trade zone. If you believe two U.S. banks going bust in a week isn't evidence of an impending financial crisis, just sit tight and watch the fireworks. If and when the Fed changes course, then you'll know what to do. What he's saying is change his course from a hawkish to a dovish stance and pumping money back into the economy to then boost financial markets. If it's a nothing burger, at least you don't get chopped up. And this reminds me of this gif here. Like you're sitting in a burning house and you're claiming that everything's fine, and it's not. The financial markets are sitting on a cliff and could be getting ready to tank. What this means for Bitcoin and crypto, we'll take a look at that here. But what's CZ talking about? If you look at this article here, Binance considers buying Bank, which will bridge the gap between crypto and TradeFi. So the world's largest crypto exchange is thinking it's time to buy some banks, and CZ commented on this recently saying, is it time yet? He's not sure, but he's thinking about it. And if you take a look at Bitcoin, we zoom out on the charts, we see that Bitcoin could be out the woods. Let's zoom into the price action. We got our super guppy indicator, and let's see what we see. We came back down and we retested this area of confluence, this support, quite a few times before we fell all the way through it back November of last year. But when we fell all the way through it, we sort of stair-stepped our way up. The super guppy indicator changed from red to gray to green, and look what happened where this box is at. We came back down and just retested it, but we have to get back above this orange line, and the super guppy turned gray. So we have to see if this holds. Will we see a bump and run to see a high price action? Well, time will tell, but all in all, Bitcoin is still putting in higher lows since this downfall back in November of last year. Another indication that seems a little bit bullish is the 200-day. If you look here, every time Bitcoin's been under the 200-day for some time and it breaks above it, there is a rally to come. So this is the 2018-19 bear market. When we broke above it, we came up and rallied up. We rallied up roughly about almost 200% before having a pullback, but ultimately it was a major rally to the upside. So that's after the 2018-2019 bear market. If we look at the 2013 peak, when we had this bear market and we were below the 200 moving average, as soon as we broke above it, the first time we had some closes above it after an extended downtrend, we came back down briefly, but then from there ripped up to the upside, and as you see, this went all the way up well over 7,000%. So if we look at where we're at right now, we had an extended downtrend and we just broke up. Zooming into the price action, this could be a bump and run. This could just be a pullback to come back and kiss this trend line before we then see higher price action. So that definitely looks bullish. From an update from Seth Finn, the 15th largest bank in the US just went busto. We talked about that already with the USDC to peg. I warned you 19.9K was in the playbook for 3 weeks. So he's been calling out for this from 25,000. That was the recent peak in this upwards bull run, and you still acted hurt and surprised. So his prediction by the 2024 halving is that Bitcoin will be at $40,000, and then in 2025 a blow off top between $100,000 and $250,000, and that's all dependent on how much money is being pumped into markets. And then an update from Stock Money Lizards, what he's saying: Bitcoin black swans and death sentences, or the survivalists. Look here, every time we're down this blue area, we have black swan events, Mt. Gox, Bitfinex, COVID crash, and now we're having the latest, the Silicon Valley banking crash. What's going to happen in the future? Rinse, repeat. Bitcoin always comes back up to make new highs. So you have to zoom out in the charts, make it make sense for you, make it make sense for your trading portfolio, but all in all, the longer you hodl, the more you'll gain. And with that, that's all I have for you today. If you like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. We appreciate all the support you guys give us. And I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros, and with that, I'm out.